Hope you guys are having a good day, good weekend. I just posted a video, the backcountry carrier video. Highly suppressed, that one is, because it involves competitor application talk. And I imagine that's one of the reasons why it's suppressed, or it just sucks. That's another reason why. That's a legitimate reason why. Maybe it just sucks. But anyways, I'm carrying that carrier. You guys can watch the video before this if you want, or not. So I used the analogy with Trump the other day with the hornet's nest. And I think you got three categories of leaders. You have the leader who addresses the problem head on. And so if he's got a wasp or hornet's nest, he's going to burn it down with a flamethrower. He's not going to treat the symptoms. He's going to take it right to the enemy. Then you have another type of leader who, because he probably has some kind of investment or some kind of incentive where he's getting a kickback or at least rewarded for some reason, he doesn't need to eradicate the problem. He just kind of manages it. You know, because he's only got like 4 more years in his term. His job's temporary. How much good could he do? I mean, possibly do. So he goes out and knocks down the hornet's nest, knowing it's going to be back there in 2 days. But he spends that 48 hours telling all his constituents how proud he is of all the hard work the people have done to accomplish what they've accomplished. But again, 2 days later, 48 hours into it, we'll be back where we began, which is why we're in record trillions of dollars in debt, over 30 plus trillion dollars in debt. It's why when you attack a Cybertruck, when you put a sticker on it and you feel like that's justice for your team, your side, despite the other team taking the fight to the fraud, waste, and abuse that this government is recklessly abandoned its citizens. I mean, we pay taxes on everything, like threefold, 3x the taxes on everything. State, sales, local, federal, it's just on and on and on, where your dollar is worth a penny because the government takes it. But you're so outraged because you want your side to win that you don't even look at that as an accomplishment. You know 2 more days from now that the hornet's nest is going to be back up, but you don't care. You have different incentives for yourself. Your political identity is your religion. And man, you'll do anything for your religion, including risk it all. Go to prison for 20 years for burning a Tesla to the ground. Support terrorists that were once some of the worst gang members on the planet that have done nothing but harm to this country, while using the excuse of due process, saying it's all about the constitutional integrity. No, it's likely because, again, you want your side to win. And then there's another leader, which I think is more common than any other leader in the government, which is you're just a wasp swatter. You're just going out and addressing the symptoms. And it makes you feel good. You could go out, you could tweet a couple times a day and make your constituents think you're doing really hard work. I mean, you could even claim that you're Native American. Despite being proven wrong, you're still a member of Congress and still swatting. You're not even swatting wasps or hornets. You're swatting flies. So Trump is the first category of this leader, where he's not only bringing one flamethrower for one hornet's nest, he's brought a whole A-team of cabinet members that have their own flamethrowers, and they're burning everything to the ground in a good way. Because see, real leaders address the problems head on, knowing that it's not going to be a popular opinion, especially in the moment, but they're standing up for something that requires more commitment and time, and they're willing to sacrifice themselves by all means, even their lives if necessary. So when you look at that kind of leadership, that volatility, which is the nature of that type of leadership, which is essentially a wrecking ball with the intent to reconstruct or rebuild, in this case, our nation, you're going to have fallouts. You're going to have controversy. You're going to have mistakes being made. The alternative, though, is you just basically accumulate debt, completely lose the social integral value system of our country in the first place. We become a country of heathens and extremists, because everybody wants their voice to be heard. And since you got a cell phone, everybody's got a platform, and everybody burns it down. Nobody wants to go to work. I heard this thing recently from a buddy of mine, Jim, who sent me a video, and I hate getting motivational videos, but these Christian-based or wisdom-based videos are pretty cool. And he was talking about wisdom specifically, and he was talking about having, I think it used the term deep intelligence. And I would accumulate that to, or equate that to wisdom. The wisest of us are those that suffer in pain and are humbled, but overcoming that pain makes you more deeply knowledgeable, more wise, more empathetic, and more resilient than the rest of us. And when you think about all the things that President Trump has been through, that's exactly the case in point. I think we seek this ideal, like, let's not rock the boat here. Let's not create any controversies or drama, versus like, get it out on the table. Like, speak your mind. Tell the truth. Speak it. Like, what are you doing? Why are we beating around the bush? And everywhere I look, everywhere I am in my own experiences, all I see is a bunch of sheep in my everyday interactions, rolling with the flow of the status quo. And they don't want to rock the boat because that paycheck's like, let's just keep that thing coming in. You know, we got that family vacation to Universal Studios for 3 days. We don't want to screw that up. But we don't want to do what's right in many cases where we do stand up for the right thing. We do fight injustice and these broken systems. The hardest thing to do nowadays is the right thing. I'm involved in injustice. And I won't go into too many details because I don't want to bore you to death. But what I'll say is what Trump's doing is the right thing, because the decisions that you make today, if you really care about the people you love, if you really care about this country, are going to be unpopular right now. I mean, they happen to be statistically popular, but you're going to have your critics. But at least you're in the arena. You know, it's like that Man in the Arena poem. It's like, you're the dude who's doing it. How many people do you know who are hypercritical? National media organizations, podcasters, Instagram influencers that are so hypercritical, but they're not willing to do the work for anything or anybody because their platform is shit talking. We'll see how that works out for you. I already know how it's going to work for you. What was that thing? It's like, yep, that's where it's about at. It's not going to work out for you. The biggest fear I have with this specific leadership style and tactic is I've seen it. I've seen it in microcosms in the military, in small unit leadership. I've seen it with myself, where I've rocked the boat. In Libya, I had this 10th group attached reservist. I won't say his name, but he's a lieutenant colonel. And I think in his heart, he's a good dude. I think he means well. But he really, really, really screwed up. He screwed up during Benghazi. He screwed up post-Benghazi. And he was a real coward. He's also an alcoholic. And I went on an operation with my guys, not an operation, a tactical training operation. And we were needing support at like 2 a.m. And we didn't get it because he didn't answer his phone. He was supposed to be occupying our mini tactical operations center. And I was the guy on the ground communicating to him. It was like, hey, what's going on? Where are you? What's going on? I get back to the embassy and he's passed out drunk. I want to say it was tonic and gin. Is it gin? Yeah, that's his drink of choice, which is such an old balls drink of choice. Gross. Gin and tonic, that's what it is. So anyways, he's wasted, so he can't do his job. And I'm not one to rat people out because I'm not a rat. But if you're a commander on the ground and you're compromising my guys because of your, I don't know, lack of integrity or just discipline because you're getting wasted at the embassy instead of doing your job, I made a complaint. I actually made several complaints because he sucked and was incompetent, and I didn't want my guys to get hurt. I sent that up the chain of command. I emailed the Special Operations Command Africa Sergeant Major, the Command Sergeant Major. I emailed my commander, who was my company commander, and I emailed the Sergeant Major of AFRICOM. I went all out. I mean, this was like 5, 6, 7 attempts in. Nothing was being done. And then I thought something was going to be done. And they just drug it along. And not only did that guy not get fired, but he got promoted. He went from lieutenant colonel to full bird colonel. He might be a general right now. So it's hard to do the right thing. It's hard to stand up for what you believe in any capacity, in any organization, including in your personal life with your family, friends, whatever. It's hard to do because you'll be attacked. We are a little over 100 days into this, and we're seeing the result of what happens when one part of the country doesn't get its way. The fear is that in these type of situations, let's just call it situation, volatility goes through the roof with the likelihood of more toxic outcomes, even more danger. 17 cartel members flew into the United States to meet with the Trump administration because they're trying to negotiate a deal because they know they're going to get evaporated off the face of the planet. So you might see a lot of changes of heart, for some at least. Probably the old guys who just get it and who understand the nature of the country and the force that they're effing around and about to find out about. But there's also those extremists domestically and internationally who've always wanted the downfall of Western civilization in our country, especially. They live right here in this country. I mean, some of these dudes were trying to kick out of the country because they're not legal citizens or they're not actual citizens of this country. And they're saying, death to America, and we need to burn down Western civilization, and we're facilitating that. So the outcome for 3 3/4 of his term to go, and there not being a significant international or national terrorist attack, is highly unlikely. I'll be the predictor of it. I was the guy in November prior to the Pan 19, we'll call it, C-19, in November before it came to the US, that was communicating about the potential of it being a thing, and if it is a thing, the potential of it coming to the United States and affecting us in a very negative way. And I got attacked for it. I got called a conspiracy theorist or right-wing extremist, all the things. And then when I started talking about, hey, you should probably look at self-defense and bugging out and your own survival, because the accumulation of these problem sets on top of a recent natural disaster that killed 26 people through tornadoes, which just happened today and last night. It's like that stuff can happen. And you stack a couple problems, there's a perfect opportunity for another 9/11. And I'll make the prediction that it's going to happen within the 3 years and 3/4 left of the year, which is a weird way to say it. I'm sorry, like 8 months left. So 3 years, 8 months, within that time frame, there's going to be a massive attack. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. I just have a lot of experience of weighing these things. And so I just wanted to share that with you in between. I really want a nap and I'm drinking Nespresso coffee, whatever that world is that exists in between. Guys, I appreciate you. Got a new Mike Force podcast out that I just posted on resilience. And it's not really on resilience. It's more about getting your ass kicked. Also, my Patreon, which is linked down below, I do a show every Sunday called Preaching to the Choir. And it's one of my favorite shows because it's for my patrons, but it's tied to my faith in God, my belief in God, and sharing some scripture and some mindset, life experience stuff with you. I hope you have a good night. I'm off to go work. Peace.